Okay, so Alex, I just thought that you've obviously talked about just briefly about your past gambling addiction. I do believe your
Yeah.
drug and alcohol um, progress that you've maintained. So do you mind just telling me a bit more about that, mate?
Yes, of course. So, a few months ago, I finally came clean to my parents and my family about what was going on, and I was really dreading telling them because I had a feeling they'd be really resentful or angry, even. Or and let's just say I thought their parental or familial responsibilities were going to kick in.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they were actually really afraid and concerned, and overall just happy that I told them, and I'm grateful for that. And now that I've come out of rehab, the drugs problem hasn't been hasn't been affecting me anymore. That seems to be off the slate entirely.
And why is that? Is that because is that just because you've found gambling as more of an addiction, or have you been going like through rehab, or?
I have been going through rehab, and they've been. I think they've had a really big effect on. Like, they've had a really big hand in trying to fix it. So the drug problem currently seems to be okay, but the gambling is currently where most of the problem lies.
Okay.
There have been a few times since I got out of rehab, particularly in the last 2 weeks, where I've had some urges to start gambling again, and I've tried my hardest to fight those urges, but it hasn't been easy.
Okay. So just to stop you there just for a second. So, did you just like leave rehab, or have you completed rehab, or?
I've completed rehab, and I completed it about 3 weeks ago.
Wow, that's really great, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So was that just for drug and alcohol, or was that for all three of the addictions?
It was for all three, but I have a feeling it's affected to the drugs and alcohol and all that. I think it affected that more than the actual gambling.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No, that's cool. So what I'm hearing, sorry, just to bring it all together a bit. So you've gone through alcohol and drug rehab.
Yeah.
You've had quite success with that, so that's really good. Up to completion successfully.
Yeah.
You seem to have like another addiction coming through from past times where it's gambling. Is that correct?
Yes.
You've reached out to your family, and the family have absolutely been amazing
They've
through
been
this process.
wonderful,
That's
yes.
awesome. And so they are, obviously you're very concerned about this, so that's why you've approached me.
Yes.
No one influenced you to come to counselling? Was it
No,
just yourself?
it was entirely my own.
Well, that shows that you want to self-help yourself, and that's really good for the future, mate.
Yeah.
You're caring for other people, and so that obviously shows your family that they want to care for you as well. That you want to make progression, so that's really great. Yeah. So, what is there anything else to add to that, or?
No.
No. So, just another question. Do you find it like, is there any methods or anything that you can kind of like any drive or like, sorry, is there any other hobbies that you've picked up since, like, to try and get away from the gambling, like to try and distract yourself, or it's just a constant flick in your head that you like, just the urge to gamble?
It's just constantly just the flicker in my head. It's like a, I can't really think of a metaphor to describe it. It's like a dog chasing a car.
Okay.
Like when he sees something like that, and his urge is to just go for it. It's kind of been the same. Just last week, actually, I came out of my room to get a drink and saw my brother and sister playing a board game. It was Monopoly, and when I saw them with the pair of dice, I kind of had. It wasn't really a flashback, but it was kind of like a bit of a tick going off in my head, and I was thinking, oh no, this is not happening again.
Oh, okay. So you could be busy and doing something, and it just comes out of.
Yeah.
It's not just when you're bored or anything.
Yeah, it's not. It just seems like it's kind of like a nervous tick.
Yeah. No, fair enough. So I just thought, obviously you've told me a lot so far, and I'm so glad. Thank you for being so open. Obviously it's our first session, but you've been very, very great.
And thank you for your support as well.
Thank you, mate. So obviously you've given us a lot to work with. So I thought that, just to make this progress keep going, I just thought we might do some short-term goals, maybe make those up, and some long-term goals, and I can put them in your files for later, so we can look back on this time, because it'll be so we can see where it goes, and if it's not if we do, but when we get that more comfortable scenario for you for this situation.
Yep.
The urge and all that. So just what kind of short-term goals are you thinking of at the moment?
Well, the main short-term goal is to let go of the urges, because they're not exactly affecting my life in general. They're just affecting my personal anxieties. Yes, just as a personal kind of thing, in my own kind of world. It's not affecting my social life or family life or anything like that. It's all just me.
And that's because you haven't acted on that situation.
Yes.
You just keep thinking about it.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, so awesome. So do you have any other kind of short-term goals, you reckon? Or
not exactly.
That's just the main one you want to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So obviously anxiety is a big thing, and you're so self-motivated to get better for you and your family. So that would be the biggest one. Just to quickly try and take the self kind of destruction of the compliments about this past addiction.
Yeah.
And put that away. So just we'll just jump to the long term. So I'm guessing long term you want to just leave this addiction and all the thoughts that come with it behind.
I don't just to put it lightly. I don't just want to let it go. I want to just grab it right by the scruff of its neck and just throw it away, just out of my life, gone.
Awesome.
So I don't have to think about it.
Love to hear the enthusiasm, mate, because that's what we need here. We need the motivation, we need the enthusiasm.
Yes.
And through this, it's it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of times where you feel down and out, but you're doing the right thing. You stepped inside this office today, and you wanted to help yourself, and that's awesome, mate. So what does it say on there?
8 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's good.